is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day after the market close. Tom takes your phone calls from 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time using the data available at that time.
Let's go to Glenn in Massachusetts. Hey, Glenn, what's going on?
You know what is good for us is Tom O'Brien providing an unbiased source of information for us investors. You don't have an agenda. It's just to cut through everything and to give us the facts. I want to thank you.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
And now, here's Tom O'Brien.
Welcome, folks. This is Tom O'Brien of TFNN. We go 5 days a week. We go 2 hours a day. We go 24 hours a day on the internet at TFNN.com. Always remember, folks, whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows. Hope everyone had a great day, safe day. Let's make it a great night, folks. Let's take a look at one of our 4 agreements. Manifest your true intentions. Regardless of what language you speak, your intent will manifest through the word. What you dream, what you feel, and what you really are will be manifested through what you say each and every day. Market-wise, let's take a look at it out here. We had the Dow down 242, NASDAQ off 50, S&P's off 24, gold contract up $3.90, trading out at $1,396 an ounce. Silver down 5 cents at $34.18. Platinum off $5 at $1,696 an ounce. Copper up 4 pennies at $4.18 a pound. Light sweet crude up $1.46, trading out at $99.44. Bonds up a point and 7 ticks at 122.17. Dollar index up 29 ticks, trading out at 76.95. Euro 138. Yen down 91, trading out at 79.82. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world? In the world of the S&Ps, let's take a look at them. What do you have? We are at 1256. 1256, folks, brings you back to December 22nd. We did that today with 1.4 billion shares blowing away yesterday, blowing away what was going into on the 3rd. If you remember, on January 3rd, what we were going into yesterday only had 1.1 billion versus the 1.28. Bottom line, lower lows, higher volume, big time. That's your S&P. We go over to the Dow Industrials. We take a look at the Dow Industrials. What do you have with the Dow Industrials? She's down 242. Dow right now is 11,600. That takes you back to January 3rd. Bottom line, you're coming into that level with volume also, the 1.460. Composite, NASDAQ Composite. This is what we have with the Composite. She goes down $50. Volume also explodes upside. We do 2.588 billion shares. That little baby at the 2616 brings you into the December 10th time frame. So what you have here is that you have a high with no volume. You come off the highs with volume. And it's not pretty, and it's not going to be pretty. Now, gold contract. Let's go take a look at gold. This is what we had with gold out here. What gold does today, price spread from 1392 to 1406, 139,000 contracts traded. We are at the 1396 mark right now. That wants to go test down at these levels at the 1348 mark. Dollar index, and this is what it's all about, folks. The dollar index, this baby has not only held the lows, that is pretty amazing. It just keeps hanging down here, no doubt. When this thing takes off, man, there's going to be real problems in the marketplace. What the dollar index did today, 37,000 contracts. You had a price spread out there from 77.13, the high, 76.63, the low, and bottom line is that is building cause, and it's building cause to get into this 79 to 81 area. Now, yesterday I talked about the tick and how it was so bizarre that you got an uptick versus a downtick, and I was explaining, well, that doesn't happen in corrections. Okay, well, when it happens, let's put it this way: what that means is that the bulls are just coming in there buying, and they're going to get toasted and roasted. Well, bottom line, that's what you had. That's the first part. The second part gets interesting here, though. This is what it is. We did get 2 large downticks today. The first downtick came across at minus 1427. The second downtick came across at minus 1521. Now, what does that mean? What it means, folks, is this. is that you had a situation that simultaneously in the New York Stock Exchange there was selling. And that's what it takes for corrections and for bottoms to come into play. So you need more than one day of it, too, by the way, okay? But I just want to explain what the differences are and how you want to look at them. Now, if we, with two, what you do have is this. Like right now, you get the, here, we got to go to Apple. Because Apple, folks, is all about the NDX 100. Now, what does Apple do today? This was the first time that Apple broke a major swing point. Apple's done. Apple will bounce a little, but Apple's done. What Apple did is this. Apple gets through the 337.72 swing point. That was of the 22nd. Does it with 40 million shares versus 31 million. Now, that's the first part. Now, the second part it held, and this is what it did. Now, check this out. This is pretty cool. The second part is that when we came down on January 18th, we came down to 326. We got down to that level with 67 million. Today, we did 326.26, come down, tested it, rejected it. What that says is that, yeah, you can get a bounce out of here. Apple can bounce in a heartbeat up to 345. Where your confirmation would be, as you bounce up to those levels, what you'd be seeing is that you'd be seeing lighter volume. And what this is doing, this is building cause, wide consolidation. The bottom is at 326, and the top of that is 361. But the force is downtown here. If we go to the 4Qs, you take a look at the 4Qs. What we had happen in the 4Qs out here today is this. You talk about volume blowing out of these babies. 4Qs did 169 million shares. That's after making a high, folks, with 53 million. The 4Qs right now are 54.15. That also, I'd like to see a bounce at this point, but these want to go a lot lower. The 52.24 is game in a heartbeat too. The diamonds. You take a look at the diamonds out here. What we have with the diamonds. Diamonds today did 15 million shares. That's after making a high with 6.3 million. Diamonds have a lot further to go down. The SPYs, the SPY. What we did with the SPY out here, SPY came down on 426 million shares after making a high with 130. They're getting out of town. What you do have right now is no doubt we have an extension downtown. We basically in 2 weeks took back, 2 months, 3 months. You go over to Japan, we look at the Nikkei from last night. What you had with the Nikkei last night is this, folks. You had a bounce, which you should have had. Bottom line, I was up 488, but the bottom line is that the Nikkei is building cause to basically get into. So what the Nikkei did is this. The Nikkei had a low the prior night of 82.27, closed out at 86, went up another 488 to 9,091. Bottom line, though, when you bring this back, it's going after the lows of 08. That's what it's doing. It had already busted into the highs of it. It busted into those highs with volume. And now those highs, we're right at those highs right now, by the way. It's 9030 and you're 9093. But you already hit these with volume. On a weekly basis, it was 11 billion. We did 11 billion yesterday on the daily basis. We take a look at the FTSE. The FTSE and what you had with the FTSE in London, now this is the one's getting really interesting because the FTSE in London is kind of like our Dow. They've been trying to hold it up, and they've done a decent job at it, by the way, too, folks. What you have with the FTSE is this, though. FTSE yesterday came down on big volume, 1.2 billion. Today it's going right into that level and stopped right before with 1.1. We're at 58. That's say that we get game into there for 55. I suspect what you're going to see down here is somewhere about 5,000. And when you get down to those 5,000 levels, by the way, what that has already set up, that sets up about an 18% correction just at those particular levels. Some of the Dow industrial stocks. Let's take a look at what was taking the Dow down today. Every Dow stock was red, folks. The biggest drivers down to the bottom side was IBM, ExxonMobil, Boeing, and 3M. So if we slice and dice these one at a time, let's do that. We'll start. Actually, let's go with the stronger ones. The stronger ones were Bank of America, Kraft, Caterpillar, and Cisco. Okay, so let's go with the stronger ones first so we can see what they look like. Bank of America, this is one of the strongest ones, down 27 cents. Trade now to 13.69. That's going after a swing point of 13.40. That's going lower. Kraft, KFT. Kraft Foods. Let's see what Kraft has. Kraft was down 28 cents. Kraft's not in bad shape. It's not in bad shape at all, actually. You know, let's look at this. Okay, so Kraft Foods in a consolidation. Kraft pulls down slightly, 11 million shares, but you get a couple signs of strength at 32. Let me see the numbers on this thing. Okay, so Kraft. You might want, if you bulls out here, you might want to be looking at this. Okay, so check this out. Kraft pays a 3.7% dividend. They sell in food. People are going to be eating food. Put this on a weekly for a second. So on a weekly basis, yeah, you know, Kraft's not bad. Kraft's a good setup, folks. This is what you have with Kraft. Okay, you're at 30.85. 28 to 27, you know, that stays in there with light volume. Kraft's a buy, even in this disgusting market. Caterpillar. We go take a look at Caterpillar. This is what you have with Caterpillar. Caterpillar, this is going to be a little problem. Okay, so Caterpillar's been looking good at these highs, but what you had here today is this. High was out there, 102, low 99, 12 million shares. That wants to go into 97. Cisco Systems, we know that's a dog. You got Cisco out here. That was down 34. That's hitting lows, and that already blew away. That's a 3-gap play on the way down. Now we look at now those are the strongest stocks in the Dow. The weakest stocks in the Dow today was IBM. That was down $6. That was going back to fill up that gap. We hit 150, 171. The gap, folks, is 150.65. It hasn't hit it yet. And you can see why you don't want to buy equities above gaps, okay? Plenty of people are in this at 166, and they get toasted in about a week and a half. ExxonMobil. We go to ExxonMobil. We take a look at ExxonMobil. Oil stocks, evidently, there's going to be a lot less growth around. These, you know, something's going to happen in the oil business because the bottom line is that they're getting out of oil, too. ExxonMobil today, 32 million shares. Not the end of the world because you got under the breakout area, though, but that 32 million never should have come out of it. So that sets up a lot lower prices on ExxonMobil. Boeing. We take a look at Boeing, what we had with BA out here. She came down $2. She is at 67. She's going after this 65 area. And 3M. 3M, you know, we've been talking about that. That absolutely was a false break topside. We're at 87. That was down $2 today. That is going after the 83.80. Our phone number is 877-927-6648. Give us a call, folks. Want to know what's going on in your world. And the world of J.P. Morgan, folks, you know, you had J.P. Morgan coming out there. Yesterday you had them coming out there today. And this morning, I'm telling you, man, listening to this analyst saying that 1260 on the S&P was a no-brainer buy. I thought I was hearing things. And not because of taking a view, folks, of taking a view that words in the marketplace that, you know, in this case, me being a bear, no-brainer, safe, and it's different this time. You hear those, folks. It's never different.
Direction share.